welcome back to this week's vlog. Bentley the hooded vulture. Thanks for that, Bentley. She's gorgeous. Georgia's got a privileged job really. She's cleaning out his enclosure. Not something she normally does. And all animals have it in a routine. Animals, they all get used to what they get used to really, and that's their norm. And Bentley here, she knows darn well Georgia doesn't normally clean her enclosure. So she's treating her with a little bit of, keeping Georgia at arm's length. But hey, Bentley's old hat at all this, and nothing really phases her whatsoever. Absolutely gorgeous. What a gorgeous animal. We're so lucky to have her here as an ambassador really for the whole of vulture kind. Probably one of the best birds you can fly at Icarus Falconry on our experience days. And one of our favourites, because while you're flying her and seeing this beautiful creature soaring high above, we can tell you all about vultures, and why you need to understand them, love them and care for them. Now we're looking through zoo mesh, which is a great substance, very fine but very tough. That means if she does fly around and get nervous, she doesn't damage any of her feathers on the mesh of her aviary. How are you getting on in there?
I just don't want to scare her.
She'll be just fine as long as you don't get in her face, don't you worry. What are you doing after this then, Georgia?
Have you got the tortoises out already?
Tortoises are out, you've bathed them, and they're out foraging in the sunshine right now.
What are they then?
I'll find you something. I'm going to go and rake the alleyway of all the dead blossoms. Well, that's another job done, thank goodness. Whew, hard work, and it's getting there now. Just need to trim the verges, and thank goodness one of my favourite people, Phil, our volunteer gardener, is back this week on Thursday. Phil, I've missed you so much. Let's crack on with something else. Just thought we'd check in with Zeus, the golden eagle, here at the Falconry Centre. He's now 7 years old and he's deep into his summer molt. So every scruffy bit he's got, like these little white bits on here and these little bits here, that's essentially where there's a feather missing and regrowing, little gaps in his outer feathers. But otherwise, he's chilling out, he's looking good, living his best life, and his best life is actually the summer. Because he doesn't do anything, doesn't do hardly anything. Never mind these birds wanting to be free, he's not stupid. Flying around free, what a waste of calories. If you can just slob out, someone feeds you way too much and you can chill out. But nonetheless, as a falconer, we get a thrill from seeing our birds fly. So October time, he'll be back in the air, getting his fitness up, training, before we take him out into the field and he does what he does best. Probably doesn't like it as much as sitting around doing nothing, but that is flying and working hard on the wing, looking spectacular. But for now, the summer's easy, the living's easy, and we'll check back in with him as time goes on. Oh, having a rest after all that gardening. One thing's for sure, any animal keeper, any bird of prey keeper, anyone that keeps a collection of any kind of animals will tell you, you get stages where you think, what am I doing this for? I'm not getting time to enjoy the things that got me into this in the first place. I haven't actually flown a bird of prey now since March. Thankfully, the brilliant crew here, especially at the moment, Emily and Joe, have been exercising the birds daily. It's time I got some of my own birds flying. And Wurzel here, he's had a rest, he's had a fat spell, chilling out, molting. He's on a bit of a diet now, and then we're going to get him back up in the air. So I don't know whether he really wants to do that. I think he's happy doing nothing. But for me, I need to get back to my roots and do a little bit with these animals, not just caring for them and caring for the place. Sometimes you've got to keep the faith and remember why you do it. So we're up at Icarus Falconry still. Watering birds really, keeping them in the shade. Only flying a few because it's hot. But of course, if they have a choice, they don't seem to do what we think sensible. So the Chilean blue eagle buzzard, sitting in the hot sunshine panting when there's lots of shade in his aviary. But I guess enjoying the sunshine. Just like we enjoy it, but we sweat, they have to pant to cool down. If they've got the choice, fine. If they haven't, we put them in the shade for sure when it's this hot, 30 degrees. But great weather for tortoises. So we've extended the tortoise run now. They've got sun and shade all day long. Lots to eat, lots to eat. Have a look down here, they can go down there. They can go all the way over there, all the way down there. Let's see if we can find where they are. There's Shy, happily munching. And over there, Lulu. In the shade, heated up, now in the shade. Let's go and meet them. So, let's meet Lulu close up. I haven't seen her for a while. Look at this. What a cracking animal. Wow. She's a sulcata tortoise, as you all know by now. And she's also going to grow huge, as you know by now. But for now, this is perfect for her. A huge area to roam in. They're a grazing tortoise, a grass eater. Lots of other plants and weeds. Baking hot, 30 degrees touching today. Couldn't be better. Baking hot for her, but still plenty of shade for her to roam around in, the same as Lulu, the Mediterranean spur-thighed. Now, tortoises are great pets, they really are, but like any exotic, do you know what, like any animal, always do your research. Don't buy any animal on a whim. Look at their lifespan, their special needs, how big they're going to grow, and the exact kind of housing and feeding they need. Because many of these guys have very specific feeding requirements. So tropical rainforest tortoises, they can eat some fruit. Quite a bit, some of them. But some of these dry, arid tortoises, you're looking at grass and weeds as the mainstay. Look at her go. And also plenty of calcium and cuttlefish bone to grow these shells. I've said it before and I'll say it again. When you see a hungry tortoise eating, you just don't know where they put it all. They don't get a fat belly like me. They're in an encased shell. My goodness, they can eat a lot of food in a day. Hope you enjoyed the vlog. Let's see what's going on next. This is Specs, the spectacled owl, here at Icarus Falconry, and the other person is Emily. Now, Emily and Specs have got a pretty good working relationship, but for a while now, Specs has actually had a rest. So he's been resting and molting, and although he's certainly a few years old, this is the first year he's actually molted into his full, gorgeous, spectacled owl adult plumage, and it's the first time I've actually thought he looks absolutely gorgeous. So he's only got one flying jessie on at the moment. We've just completely cleaned out his aviary. His training, well, his retraining's about to begin, so we can't upset him too much. We've got to change his jesses. But what are you going to be doing with him to get him going, Emily? What's the plan now?
Well, we'll put him on a Creance training line first and get him to come back to me for a bit of food. But before that, I'm going to have to reduce his weight a little bit because he's weighing £1.11 and his average flying weight's about £1.4.
Crikey, so during lockdown, like the rest of us, he's got a bit portly and he's not going to want to do a darn thing because he doesn't need to go hunting at that weight. He'll just sit around. So we've got to get him back down to a weight where you can work with him,
and the creance line means if he gets a bit nervous and silly to start with, he can't get lost. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then once he's off the creance line, where do you fly him? Do you just fly him in a field backwards and forwards, or what do you do with this guy?
We normally fly him in the woods because he's a rainforest owl, so he looks really fantastic coming out of the trees to the guests' glove.
Right, so people can see those adaptations for weaving through the branches and the trees and really kind of see him doing his thing. Let's just zoom in. What a good. No doubts whatsoever now why that's called a spectacled owl. First time in about 6 or 8 years, but we can actually see an absolutely gorgeous spectacle. Lovely dark sort of mask on him. Well, you get him back. We'll get his Jessie sorted and we'll pop back and see you in a couple of weeks flying free. Thanks, Emily.
That's right.
Thanks, Specs.
Morning, guys. Time to check the moth trap. It's been a baking hot evening, and we've got some real beauties. Have a look at the elephant hawk moth first. Common, but a real classic beauty. I've already seen something quite special in here, a scarlet tiger moth, and it's going to fly away quick, so I hope you guys get to see it pretty soon. Let's see what's under the plug. Sometimes I hide under here. Nope. Nothing today. Look at this beauty down here. Have a look, have a look. Look at that. Camouflage now. Let me get some pictures as well. Hold on. Okay, keep looking here. Scarlet tiger moth. First one ever. It's going to come out quick. Get ready.
Oh, it's
Look at this.
hawk moth.
Wow, what a beauty. We've got some on the lid here. Look at this. Small elephant hawk moth. Hang on. First one. Different species. Small elephant hawk. Let's get a picture. Hey, let's see what's inside. Wow, there's some beauties there. All kinds of insects fly at night. So we've got beetles, we've got caddisfly. Let's have a look. Look at these tiny, tiny moths and beetles. Look at these. Look on the hair. Small magpie. We've got an angle shades. Beautiful camouflage. Wow. Good looking further. One of the chafer beetles. A small version. Oh, come on. Look at this. Elephant hawk. Look at these. Wow. Oh, look, a new one. Leopard moth. New one for the garden. Look at that. You can see why that gets its name. More elephant hawks. And some of these micro moths, look how absolutely tiny they are. There's so many species out there. More pretty ones here. Wow, look at the markings on this one. Absolutely intricately beautiful. And this one here, beautiful camouflage. So many moths, such a warm evening. So as we've said before, they're attracted to the light, they fall through the funnel of the trap, and then they basically go to sleep amongst the egg cartons, snuggle on down, so we can have a look. Some more beetles in there. Beautiful. Well, we're going to go through and take some photos. I think a scarlet tiger moth, leopard moth, wow, absolute first in our garden and real beauties. Hopefully you'll have a great day and enjoy the rest of the vlog. Let's see what else we can find. Back to my triffids. No one commented who knew what they were. I've had to find out from my old dad. These are Busier and they hail from Mexico. Look at the size of them now. The books say the flower spikes can reach 5 feet tall. Well, I'm just sort of 6 feet. That's got to be 9 feet tall. Look at them, my giant triffids. I love them.
So we're still at Icarus Falconry, and Bodie the Kestrel is going to do some flying today. He's had a longer than usual rest because he normally has the winter off, but he's rested all spring just chilled out in an aviary like some of our other birds due to the coronavirus lockdown. So he's back up in the air. How great must that be? He's currently on the arches, right at the top pinnacle, the tiny speck up there. There he goes. So, like many of our falcons, he's flown and exercised to a lure. That way, he's not just going backwards and forwards, he's having to work hard because he's got to catch that lure if he wants anything to eat. Now, of course, in the wild, that's true. Here with us, he doesn't have to catch it at all. He's still going to get his food. And it's a great way of building a falcon up. Cardiovascular. Getting those muscles, wow, and those lungs working. For someone that's had a long rest, he's pretty fit and he's pretty sharp. So that signal from Joe is you're going to get it this time anyway, even though you didn't manage to catch it and I was better than you.
He did catch it.
Oh, he did catch it, yeah, but he didn't manage to catch her out on the lure. It's caught the lure on the signal of it's coming anyway now. Let's just see if I can get a bit closer, because this is a common kestrel. For my whole life, this has been, until the last 20 years, the last 10 years, the commonest bird of prey in Britain. A common kestrel. But do you know what? We still often think, oh, these things from around the world, these snakes, these lizards, these animals, these birds, so gorgeous from hot tropical climates. Come on, common kestrel is still, without doubt, one of the most beautiful birds of prey. Look at that. So he's tucking in. Now this is the bit where he's been naughty. Joe's got to transfer him to the glove and secure him by his jesses. The equivalent of a dog's collar. It gives you that security thing you can sort of get hold of to stop your dog getting into mischief. We need to get him back to where he came from. And he stepped up lovely. Are you pleased with that, Joe?
Yes, that's the best he's done so far since he's been back training.
So a few days we've had him being very naughty, basically wanting his cake and eating it, getting hold of the food on Joe's glove, but then trying to fly off with it, which is kind of not ideal behaviour from any falconry or trained bird of prey. Look at him go. He might be small, he might be common, he might only come from the UK. Don't get me wrong, they come from all over Europe and other places, but this guy here, this common kestrel, is still as beautiful as any bird of prey. Look at that tail. How old is he now, Joe, as a guess? I can't remember, but he's getting on, isn't he? 10?
He was here before I started, so he's got to be over 10 years old.
So over probably 10 to 12 years old. Definitely one of the stars at Icarus Falconry. Definitely the biggest character in a small skin. It makes Pedro the burrowing owl look like a sort of a wimpy, insignificant creature. Not in a nice way. This guy's just brutal and all attitude for someone that's so tiny.
Little man syndrome.
Little man syndrome. Sorry, little men out there, but it is actually true. Absolutely gorgeous. And the reason these guys aren't as common as they used to be the only bird of prey I would see as most of my younger life. Because Britain is now, thanks to DDT and other chemicals being banned in the food chain, crop sprays that actually got into the bird of prey's bodies up the food chain. We're now lucky. Our skies are at bursting point with peregrines, they're at bursting point with red kites, they're at bursting point with buzzards. What a bounce back. Our birds of prey are thriving, and don't let anybody tell you different. Not good though, if you're a kestrel, you're one of the smallest, and you catch something on the ground, and all of those three birds above will quite happily take you out and eat you as well. So they're definitely not as common, and that's probably a contributing factor. Thanks for that, Joe. What a treat. Well, I thought you'd like to see this on the weekly vlog. We are gearing up to open Icarus Falconry to our guests, and Joe here, head falconer. Oh. Who's now got the sack. Joe here, head falconer, is putting Pedro the burrowing owl through his paces. Nothing new there, but he's been doing his job lately without any guests. And you might think, so what? Birds of prey are animals of habit and routine. And the trouble is, flying to just one person means this guy's possibly a little bit nervous about strangers, so I'm going to be the stranger. So let's see what happens.
Pedro!
We don't need a glove for this guy. Oh, look at him.
What a star.
Look at him. He comes to his flying arena in his little pet carrier there, bless him. One of the only birds that comes out and actually gets carried in luxury, like an Egyptian queen, to the flying area. And we're quite pleased with it. North American burrowing owl. One of the smallest birds here at Ecclesfield Creek, and by far, I think, the most popular. So he's going to obviously not just go from my glove to Joe's glove. He's got various props. He's got a little burrow there. Let's see what he does. So Joe's going to actually try and get him to go back through his old routines that he hasn't done a lot of lately.
You going to do this?
So a little bit of info really for our guests, because it's not just about the pure fun of working with birds of prey flying free. We like to educate people about their natural behaviour, where they come from, what they do, conservation. And as part of his training, which is long since forgotten, is to go through our artificial tunnel and show people what those long legs are for. Running around on the ground.
Oh.
Yes, he's an owl. He's forgotten what to do.
It's getting to you, Joe.
Let's see. So,
Pedro! Pedro! Come on. Ped! Can he see you?
well, I was just thinking, here he comes. I was just thinking,
Oh.
that was a good landing. That tree isn't even part of your routine. So look at the long legs on this. If you're in the UK, a burrowing owl looks very much like our own little owls in every way, except look at those long legs, because he's adapted for running on the ground and running around in burrows. Wow. I can see why people love you, Pedro. Talking to us because he's imprinted, he's hand-reared. He thinks we're all burrowing owls, so he happily talks to us. How old is he, Joe?
He's got to be 7 now.
7 years old. And what people don't realise is birds live a long time, and this guy will probably live to be about 15. And when you think how small this is as a bird of prey, some eagles maybe 40 or 50 years.
Pedro!
Now you can comment below. Joe asked me earlier,
Pedro!
in this extra hot weather, we're having a heat wave in the UK, are these shorts suitable for work? I said yes, they're perfectly fine. Comment below. Does she look alright in a pair of shorts? I'm just thinking, I forgot to order the milk this morning. Let's see if he'll come one more time, Joe. Absolutely gorgeous.
Pedro!
The camera's not picking him up there because of the light and dark from the shade.
Pedro! Hey! Ped! Come on!
Wow. His wings work just fine despite his groundhog adaptations there. Brilliant. What a star. He's pretty much our star bird, really. It's ridiculous, this little fella.
Everybody's favourite.
He gets a little reward, positive reinforcement. When he does the right things, he gets a reward. When he does the wrong things, sometimes Joe does swear at him, and he doesn't care about that. But basically, we can't reprimand him, no way. We just ignore him and reward well for doing things right.
You come in?
Good animal training and behaviour.
You worried? Come on then. Ped! Pedro! Hello? After Pedro, come on.
Look how far Joe's asking him to fly.
Pedro! Hello? Ped!
The soon-to-be safe distance
Come
of only 1 metre. Oh,
Oh,
Pedro.
Pedro. Well, come
You've
come
let
to
us
here.
down right at the end. Oh, there he goes. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and turn on that little bell notification. Hope you've enjoyed this week's vlog as much as we have. Cheers, everybody. Thank you.